Yeah.
And it worked as soon as you invited me to the call. But we move. We were at Dr. Chima Anya gonna release some new material. Fire emoji and everything.
Dr. Chima, speak on it.
Yeah, it's soon too, man. It's soon too. It's so it's the sequel to Soon, which was the first Soon came out at the beginning of the pandemic, right? And when I was like, I wanted to give a message of hope, you know.
What happened? Everybody's crashed on me. Everybody's frozen. All right, let me go right to Wi-Fi and see what happens.
That's where the concept of Soon comes from.
I lost. Sorry. I froze, so I probably didn't get any of that. All I heard was, and that's where the concept of Soon comes from. So.
Oh damn! I heard it all, but okay.
And it was beautiful. Yeah. So So it's the sequel to the first Soon. The first Soon was at the beginning of the pandemic. The second Soon is at the end of the pandemic. And I had a lot of fun recreating so I made the video for the first Soon. And a lot of that was I realized a lot in my job, a lot of the time, all I'm doing is saying to people, don't worry, whatever symptoms you've got, they're going to pass soon. You know what I mean? So that was the concept for the first video, where I was seeing people in clinic, and then, they'd tell me their stories, and I would just be like, okay, it's cool. Don't worry. It's going to be cool soon. And then, so we remade the second video, basically playing with that concept again. But obviously now, because it's post-corona, some of the consultations they look a bit different, shall we say. You know what I'm saying? So it's got references to that. And yeah, it's just funny. Like it's the funniest video I've ever made. You know what I'm saying? It's like the laugh out loud funny. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I messed up though, because I did it with my new camera, and I didn't really know how to use it, and I still don't really know how to use it. And I set the white balance to cloudy, because I thought I was being slick because it was a cloudy day. Oh my days! The image,
bro, always automatic.
The image that came out was just dreadful. So I had to do some crazy stuff to try and save it. So it does look a bit crazy near the end, but fuck it, man. It just adds
artistic.
Exactly. It adds to the charisma, man. So
avant-garde shit.
So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'm super happy, and I'm excited to share this video, and premiering it on YouTube 7 p.m. So it's gonna be fun.
7 p.m. tonight, you guys. So if you've not already passed 7 p.m. wherever you are in the world, 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time over here in England. So that's 11 o'clock in the morning for you Pacific coasters out there getting ready to go surf from coast to coast. Check out my man Shit. And I'm looking forward to that, man. I was hoping that we might be able to duel it up for you, but I know the TuneCore police are in full effect. They arresting motherfuckers for playing this shit. So I want to go back to doing live streaming and stuff, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way that we can maneuver around this music stuff, but it'll happen. We'll figure it out. They might just say mute that section of the pod. Maybe it'll be a point where hopefully we just set up like a Patreon or something, and then people can just pay to watch that part. And then y'all can help us finance some of these music videos and other projects that we're trying to do. Mr. Uwe is all on the zooming in on food. Dr. Chima is over there fucking singing and talking about vaccines and making music for y'all. And I'm over here just acting a fucking fool and drinking fucking brandy. So that's what's up. And he's got a child on the way, just like that part of the song say, I got a baby on the way. So you got to send us your money. Help us out, man. Cash app us at V3TV, #V3TV UK, I think it is. So
nappies aren't cheap, man. Nappies aren't cheap.
That's why I was like, you pregnant? Nah, I ain't doing it. Say that for rich doctors and fucking food critics like Uwe and shit. These are good people. We need to have good people, not mentally unstable people like me fucking raising children in the world. They end up supporting Trump and shooting up shit. So, what are we going to go into first, man? I don't know if we're going to talk about this Rhianna or should we go with Joe Rogan? We should start with something light. Talk about Rhianna being pregnant, ASAP Rocky. Guys, if you didn't know out there in TV land, podcast land, internet land, or whatever land you're in, your favorite singer from where's she from again? I'm blanking.
Barbados?
The islands. Yes, Barbados. That's where it was. 3 months pregnant. 3 months pregnant. Her and ASAP Rocky, I say 3 months. I think that's a lie. I think the 3 is sticking in my head is because she's 33. She don't look no 3 months pregnant, but she's showing a little bit of a bump. So, I think, imagine being the child of 2 musicians, man, especially like good ones. That kid's got to grow up with some music in their bones, don't you think? Nobody thinks? Ain't nobody got shit to say? Naz look like he frozen? I ain't paying attention.
I'm here. I mean, like, where do we begin? I mean, if they own their royalties, then that kid is caking. That's for sure.
I think he's caking anyway. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Fucking Rhianna. She's the breadwinner in that family. She wears the
yeah, true. Isn't she a billionaire now?
Yeah, she's worth some money.
That Fenty.
Yeah, Fenty's put her on. I think that's the way forward, it seems like.
Product placement.
Get popular, popping, and then make a product. Fuck the music. That's side shit. That's the doorway into the billions.
That's why we've got GP here. Stroke MC, not MC stroke GP.
GPs don't make billions, bro. GPs don't make billions, bro. But now my favorite thing about my favorite thing about this whole Rhianna thing is the Drake memes. Have you seen the Drake memes?
Oh shit. Drake is cussing right now. Drake is probably teaming up with Pusha T for a diss record.
The nigga that got bodied by Pusha T?
Drake. Poor Drake. I don't feel sorry for Drake. Sorry, Naz. You were saying before I so rudely interrupted you with a Drake drop.
No. I was just saying that Drake is probably teaming up with Pusha T to create a diss record for ASAP. You know, he stole his baby mom's.
What's the point at this point? It's almost like Kanye and his Pete Davidson has, incurable diseases and stuff. I mean, what's going on? Why would you bother? You lost, bruh. It's over. It's a wrap. You lost. Now what? What do you do?
Man, Drake, man. Have you seen the one where they have the little African kid who looks angry all the time?
Yeah.
And
side eye.
And the caption is, "I'm happy for you." And then wish you all the best, but he's looking really angry. And then at the bottom, there's another one, and it just says "nice." That shit made me laugh so much, bro. Like what you talking about, Willis? That kind of face, you know what I'm saying? But
like the school photos, right? School photos.
Because Drake's so fake. Drake's so fake that he would come out and say some slimy shit, but really underneath it, he's really seething. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I mean,
he. I feel like is Drake gonna be lonely forever at this point?
Yeah, I mean, alone in a room full of people.
I think it's hard. I mean, where do you go from? I mean, there's. I don't know. Like when having lived there and seeing people move. I mean, that community is really small, right?
Yeah.
You can't just date anybody, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, where do you go? Like Rhianna went from Chris Brown to, she messed with Travis Scott for a minute. What, about 5 so odd years ago? It was about 2015 or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know they were together.
Yeah, for a hot minute. So it's like you have to keep it within that community, That's why Drake pours hot sauce in his condoms. He's like, I ain't messing with you for real. I'm just out here looking up.
That's what I'm saying, man. the whole persona that he's cultivated for himself, even his look. Like now, I watched like a 1 hour long video of. Have you seen this YouTuber called FD Signifier or some shit like that? Mm-hmm. I watched a one hour video of this guy talking about like what Drake, the death of hip hop.
Oh, Drake and the death of hip hop.
Yeah. And to be fair to this guy, he went into detail. I mean, if you want to know all of the history of what's been going on, I think he's an avid hip hop listener. He went through, from the beginning of Drake's career to the beef with, Meek Mill and all this stuff. And just, as a character analysis of Drake, it was really interesting to watch and really worrying. It was really worrying for me for Drake. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn,
why?
This is because it's like he's trapped now in this like persona that he's created for himself forever.
Well, the memes worked in his favor when he was dissing, for example, Meek Mill, and he was almost winning these battles via memes, and now the meme has come back to bite his ass.
Exactly. And to all intents and purposes, he did win that battle with Meek Mill. He did. With memes.
With help of memes.
Well, no, Back to Back was kind of, that was the song that did well. It's all in that video. It sounds weird as something to recommend, but like it is interesting, charting his, he plotted his success and the things that he's done. And, his final point was that Drake is our fault. We as hip hop, he was saying that the tastemakers, they just took the money and turned their turn to the side, and now that's why hip hop is how it is, and Drake is what we have as a result. I mean, I didn't agree with everything that the guy said, but it was an interesting take, and it was interesting just seeing all the like elements of Drake over the years, how he went from the like awkward child actor who wasn't really part of hip hop. Really, he was on Funk Flex reading off his BlackBerry. You know what I'm saying? To like now this it's still fake. He's still fake. He's still got this bravado. Yeah. So yeah, it's really great. It shows like old like interviews where he's talking and seeming really feeble and like weak. And so like you can see how this new version of him where he's been to the gym and put on weight, it's just hiding mad insecurities, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's the evolution though. I mean, I wasn't always as gym savvy as I am now. I mean, I'm almost 50, so I'm like trying to just maintain some shit for these young ladies now. But I'm trying to look good. But maybe Drake's evolved. Maybe he's you don't think
Nah, he's not evolved in a good way. Not in like I know what you mean. Just like if this interests you, check out the video and see what you say. I'm not articulating it very well at the moment, but I mean, just the whole thing with the whole situation with him and Rhianna as well. That was just he went on a fucking award show. You all saw that, right? When he went on that award show and professed his love for her, you know what I mean? And she was like, this was like the worst thing that ever happened to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she got beat up by Chris Brown, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's not us making light of domestic violence, but so come on, like, nah, bro, like, and then you get probably stories that Drake made up himself, to be honest, like this hot sauce condom situation. I don't think he's involved at all. You listen to his bars, you see the interviews, he shows some, so that was an earlier interview he showed. He shows some later interviews where he's like completely fronting. He talks about Drake's relationship with black people as well, and how Drake feels like black people don't show him enough love. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was voted Billboard Artist of the Century or whatever the fuck it was, he was like, oh, how come no one's celebrating that a black artist has got this? You know what I'm saying? And like feeling like black people owe him something, you know what I'm saying? So
Drake is a African, bruh. Come on. I'm just here to say, I mean, Chima's darker skinned than Drake. You know what I'm saying? So if
True, that's right,
anything lighter than Chima, man, you have to fuck up, bro. I mean, I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm just being stupid, you know, because that's just what I do. But
Yeah, don't make him feel not welcome in the culture, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm sure he's worried about me and shit. He's like, oh, this guy.
No, but he is though. He is. And in his raps, you can hear it. He's like, sometimes I look at the comments. I try and see the person behind the comment. It's usually someone who's lonely and needs someone to lash out and make someone feel their pain. Those are his actual lyrics on the track. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, his life must be so hard. I mean, seriously. Seriously, I know we make light, but like look at it like in its totality.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Imagine you're Drake. Let's just imagine we're all Drake for the next 2 minutes that I just ramble on about absolute bullshit. So what we're doing right now would be viewed firstly by millions of people, right? Not like a couple hundred or maybe 1,000 or so, a couple thousand people. Millions of people are listening to every word you say, every single day, all day. Everything you say is being scrutinized, and that's just on this platform right here. Now imagine you get into your car, you hop into your TT or your Lexus or whatever, you hop into your shit and you just go into the store. You can't do that. That's done. That's a wrap. That's not happening anymore. You can't do that anymore. So imagine you're trying to go out. You and your lady, she's newly got her little bun in the oven, or you just got married. Y'all trying to go out to have a little Italian, a little nightlife. You can't do that shit no more. You can't do certain things anymore. And the way you interact with people completely changes. And they got you putting hot sauce and condoms, motherfucking on the internet, getting draked out by motherfucking dudes in 12-day-old Gucci headbands and shit. Speak. Nah, sorry.
I mean, what did Uncle Ben say to Peter Parker? With great power comes great responsibility, man.
Right, yeah.
So if he's got, if you wanted the fame or you wanted to be in the public eye, which he seems like he's just searching for validation, then you're gonna have to put up with all of the shit that comes with it. Going through the comments at that status that you're at, like, why should that even matter? Why should it bother you?
Because he's human. It's gonna bother you. You care at the root. You care what people think. You know you fucking do. Even I say, fuck with that motherfucker, say motherfucker, and then I'd be like, damn, it got me fucked up, bruh. I'm all in my feelings about it the whole rest of the night. Now imagine that Drake like times 1,000, bruh.
Times a million. Times a trillion.
He cares because he's been there for a minute. It's not like you've had a chance to go through life. Think about it like this. You go through life. I don't messed around and moved my mic. You go through life and now you're famous, right? You're famous at 40 years old, we'll say, 35, whatever. It's not the same as being famous from 20 to 35.
Yeah.
So you start being famous at 20 and you've been in the zone for 15 years. That's fucking hardcore. Just imagine when you were 20 and the shit you was doing.
Bro, I would have fallen apart.
You can't handle that. No one can. That's fame is not. That's not normal for humans. Like seriously, if you really think about it in its totality, we're not designed for taking like these heroic doses of fucking celebrityism. We're not. That's so crazy how these people live.
It's definitely over-essentialized, isn't it? I mean, we need to have some balance and order in there. But I mean, the press and the celebrities are in bed together anyway. Like, I'm sure they're like working together if they've got good relationships, and if not, then obviously the dirt is trying to be pinned on them at any given moment. So in that respect, on the latter point, I'm sure it's stressful, but Just live a good, clean life, man. You've got nothing else to worry about.
Bruh, fuck
No,
that.
you're right.
Will Smith
He's right. No.
lived a good, clean life. And look,
Will Smith did not live a good, clean life.
on the surface, what we saw was
No, but no fronting. Like, genuinely live a good, clean life. That's what I mean. Then you got nothing to worry about.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
nobody. Denzel. He's the only person that I know of that I can think
That's
of.
it. That's it. Denzel's my hero.
Denzel. And he's not going to have any scandal now, is he? Well, who knows? Bill Cosby had no scandal until he was like 70 some odd years old. And then we was like, damn, Dr. Huxtable, you fucking up. And he's just public persona ruined forever. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with that.
Can I end on a quote that someone's dropped for Drake? If we're going to move on topics. He goes, Drake going to drop some bars like, a woman of my dreams having a baby and I ain't responsible. When that shit get rocky, I hope she hit my line as soon as possible. Like bars.
Oh shit!
Where's the fired button, man?
His ghostwriter is trigger happy on Twitter.
Mars.
Drove to Rhianna's house to cry outside the gate, and Drake was already here. What the fuck? And then someone said Drake is about to drop Marvin's house. Oh shit!
What a
it went from
Marvin's Room is one of my favorite songs. Full stop, bro. I love that song. I'm not gonna lie to you. That song is it embodies the pettiness of like relationship beef. So amazing. It's so amazing. Like I gotta give him his props for that, man.
For articulating it so well, yeah.
I'm just saying you could do better. Wow.
If only I could just intercept and be like, nah, bro, just go to the gym, sweat it out, find a hobby, just do everything but give this energy.
Bro, life is so different for them. It's you can't go back. I think we really understood it, or at least I really understood it, when my man.
That's a bar as well. I know you still think about the what? The thing we had, or whatever he says. That's a lyric. Imagine saying to a girl, I know you still think about me.
Ego.
Fuck that nigga that you think you love. You think you love him, you don't really love him, you just think you love him.
I'm gonna have to visit some Drake, man. Bro,
that song. Listen to that song. That song is incredible.
I favorited it, so it's in my list. So it'll just pop up one day when the top's down. What the fuck is this? And I'll be like, oh, okay, I remember this shit. So I'm down, bro. I'm down.
Someone's gonna be driving, randomly pulls up on a traffic light in Brixton, and boom, comes out. Marvin.
Hey, sometimes that defines your car, man. That moment when you bumping some dope shit and the people on the sidewalk are feeling your shit, man. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, maybe the gentrified section of Brixton.
So speaking of Spotify music and controversy, let's just go ahead and get this Joe Rogan shit out the way. So I don't have a transition. Fuck a transition. So the Joe Rogan Experience is Spotify's highest rated show. You've not heard about it or at least know about it, that's what's up. He's seen about 10 million people or listeners, I guess, per episode. And I think my man does like 4 or 5 eps a week.
Bro, I think that's downloads. You know that. It's not even just streams, it's downloads.
Yeah.
Big guy, no joke.
Yeah, like my man is definitely the podcast king. Shouts to Joe Rogan. Regardless of what you think or feel about him, his show is dog walking shit across the fucking board, and I love it. I love that he has created something that lets the world know that the kind of stuff that we do is valid and it can get you to the other side of the mountain, if you will. But Joe's pissed some people off. He's pissed some people off. People are unhappy. He's spreading misinformation about COVID. And who was it? Neil Young was like, nah, take my shit off. Now, I'm confused by this. I'll go back. Let me revisit that. He took his shit off Spotify, then followed by Joni Mitchell. also in her 70s.
Joni Mitchell never lies.
Yanked her shit off. And now Taylor Swift fans are calling for the pop star. I think she's in her early 30s to take her shit off of Spotify as well, to stand in solidarity with Neil Young and Miss Mitchell.
You know who else? I don't know who Graham Nash is, but Graham Nash is asked to have taken his music off, as well as India Arie. We know India Arie.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna get to that one, but you're reading ahead because you're a smart guy. India Arie is pissed off because of the Jordan Peterson interview, and I haven't heard listen to that whole interview yet, but I was reading about what they were saying, and I was like, God, this has to be taken out of context. But I'm like, it's probably not. But I understand where they're trying to come from, or at least Joe was.
Bro, you're such a loyal fan, man.
It's like no, not even. But let me finish. I was just like, bro, you can't even just pretend to even understand. So, yeah, it's got a major. I think this has major implications for major platforms. Let's just say the same thing has happened. What was it? Cardi B sued this woman. I can't think of her name off. Is it Tasha K? Is that her name? For spreading some false shit on her YouTube, and she was like, take it down. But homegirl was like, nah, I ain't taking shit down. And Cardi B sued her in court and won for like millions, right? So you can't get away with shit anymore. And now when you have, I like when we have major people battling shit out, right? I like when we have the likes of, I hate to say that Joni Mitchell and Neil Young aren't major, because they are, but they were more major 40 years ago. They're big names, but they're not major. That's like Paul McCartney's a big name, but he's not major. Taylor Swift is major, right? Taylor Swift is a big deal. So if she were to jump into this foray, if she were to say, take my stuff down, I think it's going to have far greater reach and far greater implications than Joni Mitchell and Neil Young combined, which, by the way, his shit is still on Spotify. I was listening to his music while I was prepping for the show. So I'm confused because his stuff's still up there. So
maybe it's for one specific region that he's taken it off. The finer details are probably not of Spotify entirely. Who knows?
I don't even know. So where do we go from here? Are we now censoring everybody? I mean, it's a podcast.
It's not about censoring, though. I don't think it's about censoring. No one is asking.
Right? Yeah. Okay, let me finish this up real quick. So we were gonna do what they're gonna do now is put a some sort of like a warning label at the beginning. There might be information here that might be blah blah blah, whatever, because it's related to COVID. And that's where they are now. It's kind of like the old parental advisory labels that they used to put on music. When the PMRC came out, and they didn't like people rapping and saying shit, fuck, and whatever else. I don't really know. I don't really know what else to say about it. I don't really know what else to say about it. Dr. Chima, I know you're chomping at the bit to say something. Speak. What do you got?
Nah, not really. Because we sort of spoke about this the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, but it hadn't really developed yet. So now, shares drop and shares rebound, but we're talking like major implications now. Taylor Swift has 53 some odd million followers. Spotify is.
She's not gonna take her music off there.
No, get the fuck out of here.
She's never gonna do that.
No.
I hate when people get involved, like random fans be like, hey, why don't you cut your income in protest, in solidarity? And
the thing is,
he's not even a COVID advocate.
No. If she was smart, she would do it. If she was smart,
they should have asked Drake. He would have done anything.
Why would she be smart to do it?
Because, bro, and what this Neil Young situation has shown us is that standing for something is way more valuable than letting some shit fucking slide. You know what I mean? Like, you get the quick win, yeah, you'll get your measly Spotify dollars for this year. But ultimately, standing for something, it's ignited all of his fans.
Exactly. That's where I agree with you. I got Neil's back on that, and that's why I said it's good to see these heavy hitters going at it, because it's different if my little group is pissed off, right? My group's pissed off, and I've got 8 million followers, or not even. I got 1 million followers, and we're pissed off. 100,000 followers, and we're pissed off. My group's outraged because of something you said on your podcast. That don't mean shit to so many people outside of that 1 million followers. Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, tens of millions of followers, right? And they've got a name behind them. So it means more if they're attacking versus me attacking and saying, I'm never going to listen to Spotify again, and my 1 million followers aren't going to listen to Spotify either. But where there's money being made and money being lost, it has a greater impact, I think.
Yeah, I feel like this is an opportunity to shape the future of like streaming services, and people like, hasn't Taylor gone to bat with Spotify before? Anyway, didn't she have some sort of issue? She like re-recorded her whole shit.
Yeah, she re-recorded her own shit, but I think that was more to do with her record label.
And the label,
ownership. Yeah.
I think, fans love to support, right? Fans love to support. And I feel like because of the momentum this whole thing has gathered now, if I was an artist who had a massive platform, then yes, okay, you might take a little hit, right, if you take your music off there. But the rewards for standing for something and trying to move the conversation on, they'll come back at you like 10, 15 times fold compared to like what Spotify actually pays you. And you know what the main thing this has made me realize is the sound quality on Spotify. I don't know if this is just coincidental with the fact that I've started like spending more time mixing music, but the sound quality on Spotify, you can really, really tell that it doesn't sound as good as some of the other streaming platforms,
Not.
There is a normalized functionality which I've actually got turned on, because I remember I used to play music in the office and it's like really loud, really quiet, really loud, and then I think that plays a part to it. But totally agree, quality is whack. But I didn't know it was worse than other streaming platforms. I just thought anything on the net was poor quality.
No, I mean other platforms. Tidal's always made a big deal about it, and Apple, I think now as well, are doing it. So, no, yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's gone further than I thought it would go, and I'm happy about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy, and I see Spotify came out and they made a comment, and I saw Joe Rogan made a comment as well, but I didn't see it. Did you see what he said?
I did.
Well, I saw what he had to say, and it's clearly, shaking him up a little bit, because he's changing the strategy to his shows a little bit, to be honest with you. So not only are they having that advisory bit, saying that this has got COVID-related topics, and fact check them or whatever the statement is, but he's also like, oh, maybe I should not be so one-sided in my interviews, and I should have experts, contrary to that thought that I've just interviewed someone for. So like, against and for whatever the topic is, to balance out the narrative of what he's trying to push out. And I think that's like it went from him being quite selective of who he has on and what he touches. He goes against the status quo, innit? And that's what he's been about.
I mean, that's
but now he's trying to change that. So I'm just thinking, well, what you doing?
Shit, I think you're going to see an advisory label, and you're going to see a bit more balance, and that's all you're going to see. Here's the clip that he did for the show.
Friends, I wanted to make a video to address some of the controversy that's been going on over the past few days. And first of all, to say thank you to everyone that sent love and support. I truly, truly appreciate it. And it's been very nice to hear from you. I wanted to make this video, first of all, because I think there's a lot of people that have a distorted perception of what I do, maybe based on sound bites or based on headlines of articles that are disparaging. The podcast has been accused of spreading dangerous misinformation, specifically about 2 episodes, a little bit about some other ones, but specifically about 2. One with Dr. Peter McCullough and one with Dr. Robert Malone. Dr. Peter McCullough is a cardiologist, and he is the most published physician in his field in history. Dr. Robert Malone owns 9 patents on the creation of mRNA vaccine technology and is at least partially responsible for the creation of the technology that led to mRNA vaccines. Both these people are very highly credentialed, very intelligent, very accomplished people, and they have an opinion that's different from the mainstream narrative. I wanted to hear what their opinion is. I had them on, and because of that, those episodes in particular, those episodes were labeled as being dangerous. They had dangerous misinformation in them. The problem I have with the term misinformation.
I'm going to stop that there. So really, that's really where it goes with that. So it's like you've got these 2 impossibly qualified people to have conversations about what they were talking about. And you have this other side of the argument that's like, those people aren't qualified. Those people, blah, 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 blah. Then I asked this question on, and I'm glad Dr. Chima's here because he might be able to answer this because I don't know the answer to this, if there is an answer. When you have something like this, where you have somebody that's obviously well-versed in the field, somebody that's actually worked with this mRNA, he was there in the developmental stages of this process. What research do we know that counters the research that these people are actually doing for them to say that what they are saying, these doctors on his show, are inaccurate? I understand that there's research and, whatever done to create a vaccine to say that this works and, blah, 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 blah. But where is the empirical evidence that says all of that stuff that y'all are talking about doesn't work? So has Pfizer done any tests to counter any of these claims? I mean, I don't see any of that research.
Which claim specifically are you talking about?
I'll just pick one, I guess, that monoclonal antibodies are a great treatment, for example. They were talking about that deeply on one of the episodes of the podcast. Like this.
So we prescribe monoclonal antibodies now for high-risk patients who get COVID.
Okay, now that's the thing.
Yeah, but you have to wait until the research shows that it works.
But that's the thing. This is the argument that he's having with people. The research was done by party B and C well over a year ago, right? But we'll call party A and B government and pharmaceutical companies, and B and C are, any professional that operates outside of those 2 classifications. So they were doing the research. They were doing it over in Israel. They were doing it. So, but parties A and B were saying, nah, that shit's misinformation. Just like the lab leak, they were like, nah, that's misinformation. And now it's on the cover of Newsweek magazine. So this is where the conundrum takes place.
I think we have to be specific about what we're saying, because it's easy to get like timelines mixed up. And if at a time, you could make a prediction. Yeah, you could make a prediction like, oh, dexamethasone is going to really help treat people, right? Mm. And then 6 months later, the evidence supports that statement. But the problem is you didn't have that evidence 6 months ago. So you can't then, it's like people who, I get really frustrated with people who go, oh, by the way, I said this would happen, because at the end of the day, it's a guess.
No,
right?
But it's not really a guess. This is
it's a guess.
In these clinical trials that are going through. And
clinical trials. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
No. But I'm just saying the pharmaceutical companies are focused on making the vaccine. That's their primary focus, which makes sense. Focus on fixing or making the best at what you're doing. Don't, allocate resources and time to something else when something of this importance is needing to be done over here. So some of it might be guesswork, but when there's actual research being done, I don't think that's really plausible.
There's a process that research goes through. So it's not instant. You don't get the answers instantly. And then the research needs to be peer reviewed. It needs to go through, steps and steps of validation and things like that. All of which happened for the vaccines. Okay,
and for these tests. Just so you're aware, and I know you're not seeing the pod or what these people are talking about. They are peer-reviewed studies. They absolutely are. That's why they were on his pod. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. And the thing is, COVID has shown as well about how a lot of those studies, I can't remember the studies that got published, and then they got retracted because they realized that because scientists are human beings like everyone else, right? There's scientists making up results. There's poor academic practices that only come to light further down the line. At the end of the day, if you have this complete maverick who's going against what absolutely everyone else is saying, and you have people who are making whole businesses and whole fucking careers off being the contrarian, then it's not tough to see why some people can have a bit of a funny approach to things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't just be like, you can never ascribe that much importance to one person's opinion on, no matter how decorated they are, no matter how many papers this guy's written. That doesn't qualify him.
It wasn't opinion. It wasn't opinional. This stuff, some of the shit he was saying, I was like, that's bullshit. I'm not buying that. But again, that's just me trying to be as objective as possible. And I agree with you. But I mean, when this guy is from University Medical, right? That's where my mom's a professor at U of M. So I know that that's like top quality shit. He didn't go to like some university the University of the Pacific or some bullshit like that.
You see, I think this is where part of the problem lies. I didn't like that he started that video talking about how qualified these people were, because that's like part of the smoke and mirrors to sell you this idea that what they're talking about is sense. Just because they've done all this stuff doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about in such a fast moving situation like COVID.
Okay, so let me stop you right there. So then how do we know that the pharmaceutical companies know what the fuck they're talking about in such a fast moving situation, and you're putting a vaccine in your body that's only been out for something that's been out for a hot minute? So what you're saying is in direct contradiction to what most people were doing, and that's why so many people are like, the anti-vaxxers, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not saying that we should blindly trust the pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies have shown time and time again that they cannot be trusted. At my practice, that I usually work at, we do not see drug reps. Yeah, drug reps are banned from coming to see us. We don't believe pharmaceutical companies. We don't look at their fucking bullshit literature where they tell you about the side effects and the cost savings. Yes. We look at the independent scientific boards, NICE, the National Institute of Clinical Excellence. Here we have, SAGE. And then there are other groups of people around, like the Zoe trial, or in America, you have the CDC. I know you don't trust the CDC either, but we have these people who are independent of. And yes, there's always the possibility that the pharmaceutical companies can corrupt these people. And that's why laws have been put in to stop them from bribing doctors and shit like that. And there's a system in place to try and make sure that there is no conflict of interest. So I'm not saying blindly trust Pfizer or AstraZeneca or whoever the fuck. Like there's a bigger system at place that appraises all of this information and then gives it to us. And it's very dangerous. I agree. It's very dangerous for people to, glamorize one person because he's the most published in history. Like, do you know how easy it is to publish a fucking paper? I have published papers in the field of ophthalmology. Do I know anything about fucking ophthalmology apart from what I should know as a fucking GP? Sorry, I'm swearing a lot now. That's my bad. My apologies.
Folks, he's passionate.
No. I'm just keeping it real. So
I think say you're the most, or you're the longest, or, et cetera. You're obviously trying to let people know that there's some sort of level of credibility or respect that should exist there. I'm not defending what he's saying, but I mean, if you say this guy has won the most Super Bowls of any person that's ever played, immediately you understand what this person's capable of. Because you've said this person, you don't just go and win a fucking Super Bowl. And I understand what you're saying. Well, anybody can publish or whatever, or it's not difficult to publish. But when you're the most published in this particular field, that kind of adds a little more credibility to saying this guy's got 80 publications or whatever the number of his is cut in half. I don't know. So maybe that's why you say it, but.
Yeah, it's difficult because I've forgotten the specifics about what these two particular doctors said. One of them, I think, definitely was mad shady. And I saw one video where someone was talking about the history of that guy. And I just don't think that you can put enough trust in one person like that. No matter how many, it's never about one person. It's all about systems. That's what a democracy is. That's how I feel like, to me, that makes sense to approach things in that way. But you're completely right. I don't think we should stifle discussion at all. And ideas should flow, back and forth. But what I think is dangerous is because people respond to, we know how people are influenced. Yeah. So like you've just said, oh my God, he's got so many papers, and people will mean that means that he needs to be listened to. It shouldn't be presented like that. It should be presented as, well, what about this? What about this? This is not what I'm saying the issue is, but have we thought about this? Have we, like that, you know what I'm saying?
Everything's presented like that, though. It's like if you're coming out on stage, you're like, coming up to the stage, he's a Grammy award-winning fucking artist. He's got 6.
Yes, that works for showbiz, but it doesn't work for science, and it doesn't work for something as crazy as what we went through with Joe Rogan with COVID.
That's just it, right? That's what.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. But that's when he needs to be. You need to be careful. And like my man was talking earlier about Spider-Man, once you have that great power, there you need to be a little bit more nuanced. I'm happy to hear what Nas said, that he said. I didn't see any of that. I didn't foresee that coming from the little bit of that video that you played. I felt like he was sort of just being a bit bullish and ignorant still. But I feel like if he's going to, at least, have Peter, whoever, or Robert Malone or whoever, have the people who have that, and then have someone who has had time to research all their outlandish claims, you know what I'm saying? Because you need time to research these things. It's not something you just know off the top of your head, you know what I'm saying? People will always present that as like, oh, that's the reason it's not true because this doctor can't refute it straight away. Well, no, it takes time to go and read these things, really understand them, and figure out where this idea has come from, and then let them have a back and forth conversation, and then let people make their mind up. You know what I'm saying? So
people struggle to make their mind up. That's the problem. So,
you're right, and that's where the government's responsibility or society's responsibility needs to come in, to make sure that people aren't led down the wrong path. And remember, controversy sells. It's like clickbait. It's like clickbait. You know what I'm saying? So that's it, man. It is really complex. It's really messy, and it doesn't feel 100% good. But I do think that well, hopefully we've turned the corner with COVID, right? Hopefully, I feel like we've turned the corner with COVID. Like, it seems to not be as severe anymore. Like, whether or not we've gotten immune to it, or the vaccines have actually worked and it's not that severe anymore, it sounds like actually people can start moving back into life as it was. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Denmark have dropped their COVID laws. I've seen here. So hopefully we won't need to worry about this, and people can go back to just talking shit and it doesn't affect the fellow man in such a dramatic way. But when the whole world shuts down over one issue, and you need to try and get that issue under control, I can understand why people are starting to get a bit like, oh shit, man, maybe we shouldn't let people like color people's brains like this. You know what I mean? My articulation is so bad. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what's wrong with my English.
before the pod, duh. So,
It's so good.
no, I mean it's wild, man. It's hard to really know. Like I always used to say on my other pod, it's like don't listen to shit I say. Go do your own research.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a fair point.
But the problem with that is that people go to the same spots for research. I do a pod in the morning when I have coffee, and I went to a specific website, and immediately I knew where the slant was going to be. I knew where they were going to take the story, just based off of the website, because they lean left, and they immediately whoever's writing is going to present it a certain way. So it can be hard. I mean, and this is where George Soros is coming in, creating his own website where he's like, this is the definitive spot to get information. And that's fucking dangerous, man. That's dangerous because it's on this site and this means everything. But that site is controlled by someone that has a certain narrative that he wants pushed. Because he's got more money than anybody, he can get that narrative out there. So I don't know. This is why I get off social media, because I just can't.
Well, speaking of getting off social media, I mean, that Robert Malone, he got kicked off of Twitter along with Talib Kweli.
Yeah, but it's fucking tons of people. Yeah, it's easy to get kicked off Twitter. I mean, that's just it. So it's like if I was on trying to set this pod up to do on YouTube, and I got a strike on here for explicit content from like years ago. So I'm like, I'm in the wrong account anyway because I had to start a new account because of this nonsense. So
you got a strike on YouTube?
Yeah, like a community guideline warning or some shit.
I think he must have re-uploaded the Aaliyah.
It must be some porno or something.
Only music video.
It wasn't that. It was I used to do a show with a guy in LA, and we would do football, talk about football, and I would have girls in bikinis.
I told you, porn, innit? Porn.
If that's porn, man, you're in for a ride when you get your kid. Better hope you have a girl. So, we're out of time. Go check out Dr. Chima's video today, soon too, on YouTube. I would like to run it at the end of this, but I know that the TuneCore people are gonna come at me and be like, "Yo." Actually, we can revert back to you and they'll let it run. So you'll get the revenue from the show. So with his permission after the show, if we can get it up there, we're going to put it up there so you can watch it here. But you should go check it out at his YouTube channel because it's his streams that matter for the video. Promotion? What y'all got? We already know about Soon too. You got anything else? We're going to let y'all go and then we can get out of here.
Nah, just all about Soon 2 at the moment, bro. Just trying to promote that joint.
Right on. Mr. Wheat, what up?
Oh, yeah. Well, recently checked out this late night spot called Karahiwala. So if you're out or if you're still up and you're out around Hammersmith and those sides, they're open till 2 a.m. Done a new video, which I'll be releasing tomorrow. So eat that.
Nice.
And yeah, man, you'll know what to eat if you're out late in the West End.
I had an app that I was going to develop years ago. I don't want to say about it on here because somebody steal my idea. It was, but it was a lot like what you were just saying. When you want to know where to go and ratings, who's got the best steak, that kind of shit. Anyway,
Can I ask a question? Actually, maybe Mr. Uwe will be able to help me. What's a good filling to put in a bagel?
We know about bagels. I'm from New York. You asking this guy about bagels?
Tell me about bagels, bro.
I love bagels.
Anyway,
for me,
apart from Philly.
Okay, so apart from Philadelphia and some salmon slices, which work greatly, believe it or not, bagels are my breakfast burgers in the morning. So I'll make a nice omelet with some melted cheese and put that in a bagel, and it's just a real crowd pleaser. Does the job for me. Otherwise, you can get some
bagel
pulled.
Ain't no news.
No, man, in a bagel. Fuck the egg McMuffins. They are wet.
Bagels. They put their Burger King puts their breakfast in a bagel. You ain't created shit. Don't try to take fucking.
I gourmet that shit.
What else?
I would say pulled beef would work great. Brisket. Yeah, pulled brisket would be amazing on there. With some pickles, cut the flavor with some acidity. And that's probably the top tier bagel for me, really.
Oh, you're right. Actually, you know the one on on Brick
East?
Lane.
Yeah.
That was a sick bagel, wasn't it? With the salt beef. And
All right, so we out of here. Why do you
Crazy.
motherfuckers talk about fucking bagels and shit?
Crazy mustard.
Content kings in this piece, B. So, all right, one last question before I let y'all go. You make your bagel at home. Do you put butter on your bagel?
Absolutely.
No. When do you put it on there?
Only when I toast it.
Wait,
so I'll toast it on the pan.
So you'll
prior to eating it.
You'll toast it, and then you'll put the butter on?
No. I'll butter it, toast it, let that butter melt, make that little char hit.
So the bread is right out of the bag or whatever. You put butter on it, and then you toast it?
Yeah. So that butter melts.
Okay. All right.
What'd you do?
That's exactly what I do. So if you didn't do that, your fucking butter and bagel technique is fucking faulty. But that's what you do. I do that with toast. I always butter the bread first, then toast it. It fucks up the bottom of the toaster, but it makes it so much better, infinitely better to do it that way. Am I wrong?
That sounds like a life hack to me.
It is. Don't be sharing that shit. It's way better that way when that butter, after you put it on when it's already toasted, it's not the same.
I have a confession. I hate butter.
Really?
There's this stuff called, it starts with a V. You can get it at Tesco. It's vegan avocado type butter or some shit.
Oh, you mean olive spread?
No, that ain't what it's called, bro.
I hate butter. Like, ever since I was a kid, like, every time I get made a sandwich, I'm like, don't put butter in my sandwich.
Fair enough. Well, sorry, we gotta cut it because I gotta go. We're already 5 minutes over, but don't forget to rate, review, subscribe if we put this video up, and follow these guys, Mr. Uwe or at Uwe.eats and Dr. Chima Anya. Check out his video, and we'll catch y'all when we catch y'all. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Thank you.
Been COVID for a minute though. Dick it down, when will it go? I see the vaccine winning though. Death rates and disease, yeah, they bring it low. Rest in peace to the homies gone. In respect, you know we must soldier on. One life, gotta give it all your might, cause soon we reunite and we'll soon be right. Soon.
You know what? I know exactly what's going on with you, yeah? And you know what? It's gonna be okay soon. Yeah, that's all you need to know, bro. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you go to the pharmacy, you get a paracetamol. And it'll be okay soon. Alright?
Soon and I can't wait, like a massive plate, make you salivate. See what's coming steady, peeking around the corner. But first we gotta kill off all the remnants of Corona. The quicker that we dead it, the quicker we can exit from COVID and its wretches. Keep going, man, we almost out the trenches. And onward to our blessings. Soon. Say it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon. Say it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. Say it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon. Say it's gonna be you. It's gonna be you. Say it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon. Say it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. Might take a few moves. Might not be smooth. It's gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon. And with COVID in the rear view, I look to the future and see clear through. Metaverse, that's the common talk. You heard it here first. Meta's gonna flop. They used to rock chains on the block. Now blockchain technology's the one you wanna cop. Is it coincidental? I think not. It's all connected and we'll soon be right. Bro, I got a baby on the way. 4 years of soon feels now like a day. If it's a he or she, or it's a they, what was meant to be, not for me to say. Yeah, I know it's gonna happen, I hope it's gonna happen, the moment I've been planning. And if not, I know it's not a bad thing. It'll happen soon, 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 soon. Say it's gonna be soon, it's gonna be soon. Say it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be cool. Say it's gonna be soon, it's gonna be soon. Say it's gonna be you, it's gonna be you. Say it's gonna be soon, it's gonna be soon. Say it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be cool. Might take a few moves, might not be smooth, but it's gonna be soon, it's gonna be soon. Say it's gonna be soon, it's gonna be soon. Say it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be cool. Say it's gonna be soon, it's gonna be soon. Say it's gonna be you, it's gonna be you. Say it's gonna be soon, it's gonna be soon. Say it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be cool. Might take a few moves, might not be smooth, but it's gonna be soon, it's gonna be soon.